Hey guys, it's here at the Baron's Finest, getting you guys another Cardfight Vanguard deck profile. My gear should be good by this point, and I'm kind of just going through some things right now, sort of backlogging on videos, but I meant to upload this closer to after my regional from Chicago, but this is the other deck I was considering running. I've tinkered with the list a little bit since that point of playtesting this deck. But the other deck I was thinking about playing was Blue Flame Liberator. I really like this deck. It's probably one of my favorite decks in the game. I've always been a fan of Gold Paladin. Gold Paladin has probably just universally been my favorite clan. I know I play Novas more, but Novas and Golds are the first two decks. But Great Silver Wolf Garmor was the reason I was sold in this clan. I love so many units in this clan. They all just have gorgeous art. But I'm going to stop rambling and actually get you guys the deck profile. So, to start off with, we play one Flaming Passion Liberator Guido. I've had a mind to play two, but I don't like the lackluster columns that playing the second creates. And there's another unit now that actually kind of does the same job as Guido. So, I didn't really feel like it was necessary to play the multiple. For triggers, we play 2 crit, 5 crit, 8 crit, and then 12 crit. We are playing 12 critical triggers, and then for people who don't know what this crit does, because this one is actually the first the first Liberator trigger with an actual skill. Well, no, first Liberator crit with a skill. It's when it's placed on rearguard. I learned it doesn't have to be from deck. It's just when it's placed on rearguard in general. You move it to the bottom, check the top 4 for a Bluish Flame Liberator, add it to your hand, otherwise shuffle. It does reset trigger stacks, and I do like the fact that it can definitely help you avoid having to G-assist if need be. And then last but not least for heal. I'm not a fan of Catch Gull in the deck, and my logic with it is simply something I've heard other older Liberator players say, but I like the logic that goes with it. It's why be fancy about how to kill your opponent when you can just straight up kill them with crits. I don't want to be fancy about killing them with stands. I would just want to straight up kill them with criticals, and that's the way I view it. Glare already is an inherent built-in crit, and if you want to play core, you can do that. If you do play a core variant, you have to run Catch Gull, but I feel like core variants are so much more limited than what you can play. I hate core variants, but that's a rant for a different day. For the ones, we play the 4 PGs. I've had these marks, so I thought, hey, let's just play the marks. 3 Josephus. I have half a mind to bump this up to 4, but I like the rest of the 1 lineup a little too much to really cut it. But I could definitely see the proposition behind 4 Josephus. There are times where I want to just actually call it, because I, for some reason, can never call this card for the life of me. 3 Bruno. I don't feel like there's a need for 4. It's like playing 4 Gearwolf in my opinion in Gears. I don't need it. It's a good card, but a little situational at times, especially late game when you've probably burned through a decent amount of your counterblasts. Plus, we only have 1 card in the deck that realistically unflips, and I changed my ratios on it, so I only play 1 of it now. But Bruno's still a good card. I play Double Marin. It really goes with the aggression play. The deck wants to be. I feel like the deck wants to be aggro. I built it to be aggro. Marin goes with that concept. And then as for the last ones, I play 2 1-ups. I play 1 Butterfly Liberator Cordelia. It's kind of last one, sack it, check top 3, pick 1 Liberator and call it, and then send the rest to the drop zone. It helps fuel your early Legion if you needed to. It's a dude that can just stick on the board. And I was initially playing 2, but I wound up cutting the last copy for 1 copy of the Stride Fodder, Dawning Knight Gorbotic, I believe is how you pronounce it. But I found one of Stride Fodder to actually be helpful in Libs. It lets you go into Madu a little bit easier, so if you need to re-pick up a grade 3, you can. It's essentially trades itself out for a 3, or if you need to actually hit a real stride other than Madu, you have the option to. So it kind of acts like an additional grade 3, but don't rely on it for being such a thing. Another reason I don't like more than 1 is because it's not a Liberator. That's the main reason. If it was a Liberator, I'd probably have a different opinion about it. I'd probably be playing 2 over the Cordelia. But for the 2s, we play 4 Oath Aglavale. the best grade 2 in this deck. I would not ever not play 4 of this unless it like got hit or something. The card is just dumb. 3 regulation. I wanted a little bit more freedom in my grade 2 lineup, and I found 4 a little excessive. So I cut it down. It's 11. I mean, you don't need to that terribly search for Bluish Flames because you have other options to do it, but it's still a really good card to call Bluish Flames off with. Double Lawful Trumpeter. I was testing playing only 1 and playing the second copy of the Baroness, but I found that Baroness is actually kind of a situational card because essentially outside of Guido, Percival Legion, and Campbell, every time you're calling, you're going to be burning a counterblast. So why are you really wanting to just burn a counterblast to unflip and unflip the exact same thing you're just counterblasting anyways? It feels a little counterproductive to me, and I didn't like it. So I wanted to keep playing it though because it does have the possibility of unflipping, but I didn't want to rely on it. And I found that I've had the unfortunate luck of having to stride Glare first with no board. So I wanted the Lawful Trumpeter to help compensate for that. So my Legion is a little bit stronger. And if it's dead when I Legion with Percival, oh well, I still could possibly get a unit or something. I don't know. And then my last 2 is 1 personal attack, Blaster with Liberator. I really like the card. I would not competitively recommend running it. I just wanted to have a little fun with the deck. I've always been a fan of like the blasters. Blaster Blade Spirit. I was a little irritated when archetypes started coming out in this game, but you know, Blade Liberator, I still like it. The Retire has helped me a fair bit. If not, it's the best ride in the deck in my opinion. I don't really want to ride my other 2s. I suppose if you want to, you can cut it for you can cut the Blade Liberator for a second Baroness, or maybe another regulation. But I would not really want to do that. And then for the 3s, our 3 lineup is so basic. 4 copies of Percival, and then 4 copies of Glare. I hate Core. I think Core is a terrible card personally. I understand that it's technically the fastest way and the most cost efficient to extra pressure with the crits and everything, and it does in theory have the infinite, or like the consistency of getting Bruno's skill off every turn thing, but Glare has that too. And sure, Glare is an additional second counterblast for, you know, creating a guard restriction with a crit compared to Core, which is just 20, which will just essentially swing for 23 with a crit, assuming you have a Bruno behind it. But I don't like Core. I don't like the fact that it only works if I call 1 of 7 cards. I'd rather have like the already built-in consistency of playing cards like Regulation or Barbertuck and not having to play cards like Ketchgal or Zoran just to facilitate getting the Glare off or getting the Core off. So I chose to play this lineup. I've liked this lineup. It's a good lineup. I think it's better than ever playing 4. I think Core is terrible. So that's it for the main deck. On to the G units, because we can go through this pretty quickly. 1 Golden Dragon, Scourge Point Dragon. A lot of people don't like this card, and I understand why. You could definitely cut it. However, the reason I run it is because of the fact that your only real way of getting this thing off is with, where is he? There we go. Is with Oath Aglavale, because your stride still counts as the original name, so it'll still be a Liberator for Oath. So you can call Oath, call a unit, Scourge Point, and that unit get 5k. It's a pseudo finisher, but I admit it's not that good. You could, and I feel like possibly for future Cray Elemental strides, I'll probably be cutting this. But we'll see. I do play the 1 Atmos, and I know people are going to question me of playing Atmos over Blizza. Atmos versus Blizza is entirely player preference in this case, and I understand a lot of the logic behind Blizza. The logic, like, the deck has no GB, so that's a completely irrelevant argument. You don't play Gurgrit. There's no point to playing Gurgrit, and then especially in Liberator. Another problem with playing Blizza is that, well, a problem with playing Atmos, I guess, is the fact that, like, for the Spearcross Dragon play, you don't have as many, you won't be striding a whole lot, so playing Blizza lets you unflip, meaning you get more possible calling options for the Spearcross play, but you shouldn't need to be calling that much anyways. You shouldn't be striding a whole lot to where the one extra stride matters. You should be like only needing in theory to call 2 max. But I don't even like the Spear Cross play. Like, you only go into Spear Cross and like Shadow Paladin, Kagero, maybe D Police, or random other, or Narukami, I guess. But I feel like Atmos is better just because it serves an additional finisher. It's a basic stride that just does its own thing. So I like Atmos. I don't like Blizz on the deck. Plus, I feel like if I'm going to be counterbossing, I'd rather counterboss for a consistent 10k compared to Blizz's situational 15 or more. Like, you don't stride that much. And if you're striding into anything, you're striding into Madoo half the time, like most of the time. Madoo does work on Legion. For people who don't know, you can pick your grade 3. So you stride on top of the grade 3, add a grade 3 back. It makes it so Glare goes off a bit more consistently. Or if it's like, oh, I want to ride into a Percival and the Legion, there you go. It works. And plus, like I said, you can stride using the stride fodder, pick up a 3, you're amazing. The other stride I go into the most is Fast Chase Golden Knight Campbell. It's your basic on hit. You check top 5 for a gold. Call it to rear guard, which is actually a really big thing about this deck, because about every Liberator is called to an open rear guard, but that lets you just call to a rear guard in general, and that unit gets plus 2k, and then you shuffle, so again, resetting trigger stacks, because this deck doesn't turbo into trigger stack like OTT does, so when you hit trigger stacks, you kind of want to reset it, unless it's like excessively late game. But Campbell and Madoo, in my opinion, are the best strides in the deck. And then the last stride is Golden Dragon, Spear Cross Dragon. Counterboss 2, Persona Flip. For every face-up G unit, you get to look at... Well, you look at the top 5 cards of your deck regardless. And for every face-up G unit in your G zone, doesn't count Vanguard, you get 2 Spirit Call, Gold Paladin. And that's literally it. That's all the card does. But I hope this was a good deck profile for you guys. I've been missing, admittedly, playing this a little bit. It's a fun deck. I've always been a fan of Golds. The Blue Flame, I didn't really care to play Liberator until literally Bluish Flame Liberator became a deck. But I hope this deck provides some information to you guys. It's my insight of how I play it and what I almost took to regionals, but instead I chose Novas, and Novas I feel were the better pick. But that's going to do it for now, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. I'm going to sleep because my throat is killing me after just recording like 3 or 4 deck profiles in a row. But that's going to do it for now, guys. If you have any other requests, let me know. I do have some more Vanguard and Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profiles I want to be recording. But yeah, I figured I'd just upload golds. So until next time, peace, guys.